Welcome to the Chapter 1 podcast, your inside look at the people powering Charlotte's business scene. Real stories, real entrepreneurs, right here in the Queen City. Today, we're here with Tony Vanderpool with Garage Living of Charlotte. Tony, we're excited to have you on the show. Let's start at Chapter 1. What brought you to the Queen City? How'd you get here?
So, to be all honest, my wife brought me to the Queen City. So I've grown up in the Southeast, and I do have family in Charlotte. My sister has been up here for many years with her family. But in 2009, I kind of rekindled a friendship and realized that after many years, I found my soulmate. So in 2009, I actually moved up here to be with my wife now. Engaged for many years once I got up here, and then we got married about 4 years ago.
Awesome. Hey, there's no better reason, no better reason to come to a city, my friend. So obviously, like you're an entrepreneur, you work with garages, but there's a whole story before this. So what was growing up life like for you? You know, before you ever sniffed Charlotte, and what you're doing now. How did that story all start?
So I grew up in Atlanta, in a big family. I'm a triplet.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so I'm an adopted triplet, actually. My parents had two girls. We were living in Texas, and they were looking to adopt a boy. And they found out that a set of triplets were going to be born, and they were looking for a family to keep the triplets together. And so they adopted us 3 days before we were born.
Wow.
Great story. And then we relocated to Atlanta and grew up there. My dad was a doctor there for many years. And then kind of just moved around. We ended up relocating to Hilton Head. So Hilton Head is really home base now. Still have family there. And when I came up to Charlotte, I'm the one in the family that's not a beach guy. I'm a mountain guy. And so it was just a added plus to be in Charlotte because I've got access to go home to the beach, but then I've got access to my mountains as well.
Awesome. So where does your professional journey start? What was your first job? Was it right into entrepreneurship, what you're doing now?
No,
what did that look like?
No, I mean, obviously growing up in Atlanta, it was just some kind of odd jobs. I worked for a GC for many years, did some remodeling, things like that, some commercial work as far as drywall and stuff like that. And then it was really just trying to find out what I wanted to do. And I thought business was where I wanted to go. And actually got a job with a pharmaceutical company, and I worked for them for many years. I covered 6 states out in the Midwest. It was too much traveling. I was on the road 3 weeks out of 4. And so it just wasn't healthy for me. And that's when I started to look at possibly getting in the trade business, because I really did enjoy working with my hands. And so when I moved up here, I just kind of by fate got into the custom audio video business.
Okay.
And so for many years here in Charlotte in the Lake Norman area, I worked for a custom audio video company. I was their head of sales. And, you know, everything from TVs to automated homes, commercial applications or whatnot. And so I worked in that business for about 10, 11 years. And in that business, I worked with a lot of builders.
Okay.
And one of my builders, Omnia Construction, based out of Lake Norman, their owner, Scott Lucino, I'd heard a couple of years ago, had started this venture with Garage Living of Charlotte. And being in the custom audio business the past few years, I saw what garages were doing and what they were becoming, and it interested me. And so at a networking event, they had mentioned they were looking for someone to take over sales. This was a new venture Scott had gotten into on the side, and it just triggered something inside of me. And so I came on board October of 2024 and took over all sales with Garage Living in Charlotte.
Awesome. So that transition must have been, I mean, it sounds like a completely different industry to be in. I mean, maybe it's closer than I'm thinking, but what was that transition like from what you've been doing for so long to what you're doing now?
Honestly, it was a lot less stressful. So in the audio video business, towards the end of it, the big thing that I had problems with was technology changing so quickly. It wasn't every 5 years anymore. It was almost every year.
Yeah.
And I had a real issue with customers spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then they would have to replace something within a year or two. And it didn't make sense, and it was a lot of money. So I was kind of looking to get that stress off of me. And when this came about, seeing what Scott had built with Omnia over the years that I'd worked with them on projects, money wasn't a question to me. It was, if I have the opportunity to be able to work with Scott, that's what I want to do. And so it was an easy transition We have a limited product line. And so it's not like things are changing all the time like they were in the audio video industry.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely took a lot of stress off of me for there. And I do like, my biggest thing is building rapport with customers and being in front of customers.
Sure.
So that was easy for me because I'd always been in customers' homes before doing the custom audio video. So this was just kind of a natural progression.
So tell people a little bit more, and honestly, me, because I hear garage living in Charlotte, and I'm like, well, are you guys just building garages, or are you're clearly customizing them in some way? But what is it that you do?
So what we do, we are pretty much the premier garage upfit company. So what we do is we have our brand of flooring, which is called FloorTex. It is a flake flooring product. It is not an epoxy floor. Ours is a polyaspartic, which the main difference is with that and epoxy is it's 100% UV resistant, but it's also 100% hot tire peel resistant. Epoxy floors over time, especially when cars are being utilized in them, you'll see where it peels back the floor where the tires are. Mm-hmm. Ours will not do that. So we do the FloorTex flooring. We do 15-year warranty on that. We also do slat wall organization. So we have PVC slat wall that we can put up on the walls. And anything that you think that you can't put up on the wall that's on the ground can go on the wall. We have hundreds of accessories that can hang anything from tires to shelving to hooks. I mean, just about everything you can think of. On top of that, we do overhead storage. So we do overhead racks that hang from the ceiling. Mm-hmm. Those are great for seasonal items, bins, things like that you're not going to get to all the time. Get them up out of the way. Mm-hmm. Our bread and butter by far is our custom steel cabinetry. So all our cabinetry is 18-gauge steel, soft or magnetic close. We do 3 lines of cabinetry. And all of our products are on display at our showroom in Huntersville. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what stands us apart from other companies. Is most garage cabinetry that people think of is either like aluminum Husky brands,
right,
or MDF, which is pressed particle board. There's a huge difference when you look at 18-gauge steel. Mm-hmm. And so that, and then probably really one of our best sellers is we do a lot of car lifts.
Oh, very cool.
Yes. So car lifts are awesome. I'm actually going to a consult this afternoon for one. I'm doing car lift consults probably a few times a week. Wow.
So what is it like, I guess, marketing for that for you? So more of like the business owner standpoint. Is it a lot of networking? Like how did you grow what you're doing now to maybe somebody out there that's watching this and thinking, well, you know, if I get into a sales position in something similar, what are some tips you can give them?
Well, so networking to me is huge. Obviously building relationships and getting to know other people where you can build those partnerships as well. Mm-hmm. So I've been doing networking for many years, multiple different groups. And when we started this, Garage Living is a franchise. And so we can pay for leads. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. And so we really started focusing the last quarter of last year on building organic relationships and organic generated leads. Mm-hmm. And one of the ways that I did that was I used to be in one networking group. I branched out, and now I'm in about 4 different ones. Mm-hmm. And it's not just to find people that I want to work with, but it's to build those relationships so that I can recommend someone to the homeowner that I know I can trust going into their house. And so I would tell somebody really getting out there, getting your name out there, repetitiveness, show up, meet with the people, get to know them, get to know what they do. There may be somebody that you think couldn't be a good referral partner, and then you get to know them and you find out, hey, there is something here that we can work with. So is your roles just sales in this? Like, do you go on site? Do you look at things? Do you help the building process? Like, what role do you play specifically? Sales is a pretty broad term for what I do. So my normal MO is, and we just brought on another sales guy to kind of help me because we do cover both the Carolinas. We cover North and South Carolina. And so my normal MO is if a customer calls in or wants a consultation or whatnot, is we will go out, and normally it's me or Ben. And depending on what they're looking for, we're going to meet with them, go over ideas, suggest some ideas, go through some colors for different products that they're looking at. And then we're going to do complete measurements of their garage on a sketch pad. We're going to get measurements, everything from power outlets to electrical panels, anything we need that may be in where we want to place something. And so within 24 hours, we will produce a 3D rendering to the customer. and say, these are the ideas we discussed. Do we like this? Do we want to change anything?
Mhm.
Once we come up with a final rendering, then we go through the process of quoting and doing all that. But I do everything from setting up appointments, doing the actual consults, quoting, and then prepping the job for installation.
What's like the most interesting job that you, because when I think that like garage renovation, I'm like, people are wanting to like turn their garages into, like, I personally, I'm in the process of wanting to turn my garage into like a cigar lounge.
Yep.
Right? I don't know if those are things you can help with, but when you have gone and whatever, done quotes or whatever, what is the most interesting situation or some of the most interesting situations you've seen?
So one of the really cool ones that I did was a customer down in Fort Mill had built a new house, had two-car garages, and he was a craftsman guy. He was all about his craftsman tools. So we went a little outside the box, and we did a flooring in both garages that had a red, black, and gray flake to it.
Mm-hmm.
Then we did some steel cabinetry, a workbench system with lockers that were a black steel base with red drawers and doors for the craftsman look.
Uh-huh.
The slat wall that we put on his walls had a red stripe on the bottom of slat wall, and then the rest of it was black. And so by the time we finished that up and he got everything in there with all his craftsman tools, I mean, it was pretty impressive. Like
Yeah.
you were like, huh, this is pretty cool, because he opens his garage and everything's just red and black. But then we do the simple things too, where we had a customer that had a 2-car garage,
Mm-hmm.
and they were looking for organization. And so when they opened up their garage, everything you could think of was on the floor, and they hadn't been able to park either car in the garage in 8 years. So I went in there, designed a system with overhead storage and slat wall on all the walls. And when I went out to deliver accessories, the homeowner came out, she came out, and she was in tears.
Mm-hmm.
And when she opened up her garage, she said, that's the first time in 8 years I've been able to do that. And both cars were in the garage. So it's things like that, even if it's just a simple thing, where when people don't think they can get their space back, we can help with that.
So even in just hearing that, I'm curious, what's the thing you love most about getting to do this? I mean, is it the creative aspect of getting to do the designs? Is it seeing the client satisfied at the end? Is it the entrepreneurial sales side of it? What's the thing that gives you the most energy?
Honestly, the growth and the potential that I think we have. It's exciting. The showroom helps us out a lot when we bring customers in, because it builds excitement with them when they're able to see the product and everything. But the potential that we have and that we're expecting this year, we're looking to possibly expand into Raleigh and get an office up in the Raleigh location as well.
Mm-hmm.
So things like that, just they keep my drive going. They really do.
So other companies, I mean, I've personally never heard of a company that specializes in garages, which is actually awesome. But what does your competition, I guess, look like? And do you guys have to work on standing out from that competition at all?
I would say we do stand out. I don't think we have to really work on that.
Yeah.
And really what makes us stand out is our cabinetry. But also there are other companies that do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of those are the MDF cabinetry. They're not steel cabinetry. They're really cabinets that are made to be in a home.
Mm-hmm.
They're not made to be in a garage. They're not going to last. They're going to swell. Doors aren't going to shut, things along that line. So that really kind of puts us in a different ball game. But also what I get a lot is I'm looking for a company that does it all.
Yeah.
I don't want to hire a company that does the floor and then bring in somebody that can do the hexagonal lighting or can do a car lift. We can do it all.
Yeah.
And that's what I get from a lot of people outside of Charlotte, the mountains, the beach, Asheville area, even down in South Carolina, is we don't have anybody down here that does everything that you do. And we'd rather go with one company that can do it all rather than sub out a bunch of different companies.
Absolutely. So for you guys, what does the process look like as far as like if I'm an interested party and I'm like, hey, I've got these thoughts, like how does it go from, hey, I think I might be interested to I've got this completed project? Like what is that process look like?
So the process is, if there's an interest from a customer, let us get out there. Let us come out to the site, look at it, get our measurements and everything, and get some ideas going. A lot of times customers will have ideas in their head, but they don't have everything in their head of what they're looking for. And then that's when we'll come in and we'll suggest some ideas. And then we'll do the rendering. And really the rendering, it's important for me to turn that around within 24 hours because the excitement is there and I want to keep that excitement going. And so once we get that rendering and we come up with the final rendering, then it's just a matter of processing it and getting the approval and moving forward with it. But really, I love designing. It's awesome to go into a garage that is a complete mess, doesn't look very well, whereas the inside of the house is awesome. And then we come in and we literally transform that garage.
That's awesome. So as kind of a wrap up, what kind of advice would you give to somebody who's maybe from a business standpoint is in a similar stage when maybe they're working? I know you get, like you said, sales is a broad title, but they're in that industry and they're kind of just starting off. What kind of advice would you give them to experience maybe some of the growth that you guys have gone through?
I would definitely, I think a huge thing is, again, building the relationships. So with us, there's certain trades that work very well with us, builders, real estate agents, organizers, interior designers. So I would tell anybody, obviously get into some networking events. Those are wonderful. But one thing we like to do is try to get in front of these people in their companies and do presentations to educate them on exactly what we do. So it's really just, you don't have to pound the door every week, but stay in touch with people, build those relationships, and see what can come out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Tony, thank you so much for giving us some of your time, for being on the show. We loved having you. And for everybody at home, I'm Greg Prinz, and this has been the Chapter One Podcast.